You taped the conversations that you were hearing in heaven.
Don't you see that Herod and Pilate were aligned with her? Don't you see that when the apostolic was being birthed, it was her that imprisoned them? Don't you see that the false apostolic that has spread across the nations of the earth is on the very ground that tried to imprison and snuff out the true apostolic? This is why the final battle of the ecclesia is with her. We come out of her. Every part of our lines and our bloodlines and our ancestry. We don't sugarcoat it anymore. We come out of her. We come out of her. We come out of her.
Come on, Christians. Come on. Do I really have to say it? Do I really have to say it, Christians? So Becca is promoting that she went to heaven and heard conversations in English, no doubt, in heaven, where English is a language that was developed over time, way after biblical time. That they've spoken thousands of languages prior to English, but Becca went to heaven and she recorded the conversations. Well, all I heard was her. I don't think we heard anybody else's voices or anything of that nature. But Becca is trying to convince the Christian world that she is closer to God, that she has God's understanding, that she knows God, she knows what's in heaven, and that this is proof of heaven because she recorded conversations that she heard in heaven. Now, understand that what she is saying is that there were conversations that were being had in heaven that was angels and demons having these conversations. Now, the first part is the fact that the word demon is derived from the Greek word daemon, actually means something higher, up there, higher towards the archangel level of something of genius. And that is how the word is sometimes used, but is how the word was always used in ancient Greece. But anyway, notwithstanding the fact that people have taken that word and changed it into whatever they want it to be now. But Becca was hearing demons who are supposedly in heaven. But I thought, according to your Bible, all the so-called demons, the ones who battled against the archangel Michael and God and wanted to usurp his authority, I thought that they were all cast down and chained on earth. Isn't that what your Bible says? They was all cast down. So how are angels up in heaven having conversation? Now, some of you may say, well, Job was having a conversation, or in the Job story, rather, God was having a conversation with the adversary, with the Satan, but the Satan and the devil are not the same being. You see, the Satan is more of an accuser as far as that is concerned. The Satan is, according to the Bible, is like a prosecutor. And if you think about our court system, prosecutors, the defense, as well as the judge are all considered officers of the court. So in this heavenly court that was being held, the prosecutor is not necessarily against the court, but is just a member of the court. So the Satan and the devil are not the same. Plus, does not your Bible say that God cannot be where there is evil? Plus, does not your Bible teach you that all the devil and his imps and demons and so on and so forth were all cast out of heaven and imprisoned on earth, and they are to be let loose for certain reasons and then thrown out into this lake of fire? So how is she hearing this conversation that's going on in heaven, and the fact that she set up a recording? Let me tell you what happened. You have a woman that's playing on the fears and the hopes of people who believe in this religion. So she devised up the idea of recording herself remarking on a conversation that she supposedly is viewing in heaven. Because if this just happened out of nowhere, she just went to sleep one night, or she was just praying in her prayer closet, unless she records her prayers every time she goes into a prayer closet, unless she records every time she goes to sleep, unless she records every time she goes into some type of meditation, this is planned. This is staged. And for the Christians who were in the comments of that video who was calling her out on the carpet, I salute you. You're doing a great job. But for all of those who will continue to follow Becca Greenwood in believing that this woman has recorded a conversation about the Jezebel spirit and in heaven and an argument between angels and demons, are you really that delusional? Because that is where they are placing you, in a state where you are so delusional that you will accept whatever they say. And this is a common theme in Christianity, that Christians accept whatever their leadership, whatever the person they like, the person they believe that is bringing them closer to God, teaching them about the Bible. They believe whatever these people tell them, and you will make excuses for them because you have to have confirmation bias of your cognitive dissonance. Recording her conversations in heaven. It's a good scheme. I will give her that. And that is about it, all it is. This is why we deconstruct from Christianity. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.